it's Miss Kai and we're here in the Live Oak Garden. Today, I want to do a couple of things with you. First of all, I want to say it's been great hearing about all your nature walks and all your observations, your 3 things that you noticed, 3 questions you have, and 3 connections that you made on your nature walk with the world around you. So today we're going to go through the garden. There's a couple of new things that I want to show you guys that have been happening around here. And then also we're going to talk about something else. So this little plant, you can see it's all brown, but it's not dry. It's kind of floppy. That's because it froze. All those mornings that we woke up and there was white frost everywhere, that's because the temperature got below or at 32 degrees. And so some plants cannot take the cold. And this one is one of those plants. So you can see all of its leaves have frozen here. So this is my bean teepee that I'm going to grow sweet peas on. And then we'll be able to go inside of it once it's covered with plants, and we can sit in here and we'll have plants all around us and sweet pea flowers that smell really good. It'll be so fun. Also, some other things that we're doing in the greenhouse. Let me show you what's going on in the greenhouse. I've had some helpers come and they've helped me install the irrigation up here. So now these little things can water. The water comes down through the pipe and then it comes out here, and this thing spins and it sprays water everywhere. So that means I need to get a lot of the stuff out of here, especially anything that can't get wet. And then I'll be able to put starts and plants up here on these tables and plant seeds. And the greenhouse will be full of plants. Also, I've been able to get some plants to plant in front of the shed. And I planted them, I put the drip irrigation to them, and then I mulched all around them to try and keep the weeds down around the plants that I planted so that they can grow and fill in and get nice and big and pretty and bloom for us. So that's going to be really nice. Okay, so when you look around the garden, what do you see? You see a lot of different things that are interacting together. Some things are alive, like the plants and the animals and the people. We're all contributors to the garden. And some things are not alive, like the soil, the water, the sunlight, the garden beds, the wire, the bricks, the buckets. But all of this stuff is working together to help the garden grow. So we're going to start asking some questions about how exactly that works and what exactly do all the different pieces in this garden puzzle do? What are their jobs? How do they help the garden grow? How do they work together to contribute to our wonderful garden? So there's a word for that when you have a bunch of living and non-living things interacting with each other in a place. It's called an ecosystem. And the garden is an ecosystem because we have plants and animals that are interacting with each other. They have different relationships with each other that help each other out so that they can get the things they need in order to grow and survive. So we're going to be learning more about ecosystems. In an ecosystem, a lot of different things work together. So here, this is a food web, and we can see there's lots of different layers to this food web, and there's different things in each layer. So the plants and animals work together in an ecosystem. But also, non-living things work together in an ecosystem, and there's lots of different cycles. Like this is the nutrient cycle that's important in an ecosystem. The oxygen cycle is an important cycle in an ecosystem. The water cycle is important. There's so many cycles, the nitrogen cycle, the carbon cycle. These are all things that are very important in an ecosystem. So we're going to start learning about ecosystems and all the things that contribute to an ecosystem, all the little factors in it. But first I want to start with some things that we've seen around the garden. We've seen birds in the garden. We've seen a grasshopper in the garden. And we have a lot of plants in the garden. So I want you guys in your science journals or on a piece of paper if you have it to show me the relationship between these three things: a plant, a grasshopper, and a bird. How do they interact together? What do they do? And you can write it down, you could draw a picture, however you want to do it. I want to see what the relationship between these three things is. Okay? Okay, if you thought that last one was too easy, now I'm going to give you some more that you can use. And just try and see how many connections. You can pick the animals and plants from here and see how many connections you can make. There's a grasshopper. There's a ladybug. There's a snake. There's a plant. And you can use these more than once. So if you need to use the plant more than once, you can. There's a spider and an ant. There's an aphid. There's a caterpillar. There's a gopher. There's a bird. Can we fit anything else on here? Here's a rabbit and a snail. So I'm going to let you pick and choose. Maybe you'll say, ooh, I know that ladybugs eat aphids. There's a connection. Or you might say, oh, I know that gophers eat plants. There's a connection. Okay? So see how many different connections you can make and see how complicated you can make the connections. Like aphids eat plants and ladybugs eat aphids, and maybe a spider would eat a ladybug. So that's pretty cool. You've got a lot of things involved in that one. And you can draw them in your notebook, or you could write them down, whatever you guys want to do. And then once you've figured out how many connections you can make with these, I want you to see if you can add this one to the connections. Okay, what does a person do? What's the person's relationship with all of these things too? All right, so I'll let you guys do that, and we're going to talk about it some more next time. Okay, bye.